What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tournament Tactics. It's NFL Week 6, and we're taking a look at the DraftKings Main Slate. We're going to break it down. We're going to go through all the positions. We're going to get on the best plays. And with me to break it down, the dream team is here. We got Burns, the Millie Maker Sharp Lab, DraftKings, author of DraftKings, Winning the $1 Million Game, Secrets of the DraftKings Millie Maker, available on Amazon. We got BobbyWow, Bobby two-time Millie Maker winner, and just GOAT of DFS calls. Burns was more the GOAT last week. And of course, we have Josiah, who has taken down tournaments across multiple sports, NFL, NBA, even NASCAR.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. PGA, I'm here for
golf, a little bit of everything. Guys, and we're going to break it down. We got a smaller slate this week, 10 gamer. Fewer options, but a couple of games that are getting ready to blow up. We're going to go through the games first, then we'll go through the positions. But the first thing I want to do is send a shout out to Dino, who might be out there watching this right now. And Burns, this references you. Long-time listener. I still haven't subscribed to Army. I don't know what you're doing. Get on in here, Dino. But I definitely have to pay homage to your DFS Army channel because it allowed me to win 100K, come in first place in the afternoon only slate. Thank you. Seattle, Tampa stack. Got Darnold in there. Igbuka, it's that same stack with Montgomery as well, like Burns, Nostradamus, that call. We had two separate people win $100,000 specifically with those plays, Burns. So Secrets of the DraftKings Millie Maker. Go buy the Burns book. It's available on Amazon. B. Dalton. Wherever books are sold. Barnes & Noble. Is B. Dalton still in business? No.
I've never heard of that in my life.
I've never heard of it either. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You guys are young. You guys are young. There it is. Congrats. Huzzah to the new channel member. So, guys, we have a big NFL Week 6 slate coming up. I want to jump right into it. And let's take a look at the old Dominuch station. And we're going to take a look at these game tiles and talk about the game environments, right? It's all about building game environments. Last week, we didn't have a lot of exciting game environments. Last week was a lot of blowouts and a lot of sketchy situations. But like I said, we got on the right people and a lot of massive wins. We won more Pocket Max tickets. I think another 6 for DFS Army members. And by the way, if you're a DFS Army subscriber and you have access to our tools, we want you to be attacking these Pocket Mini Maxes. We're going to dominate that contest. And I think we already have 19 of the tickets with DFS Army people own discovered. I got 5 of them. BobbyWow's got one. Burns, we got to get you in there. And you too, Josiah. I don't know what you guys are doing.
You're taking all of them, man.
I blocked BobbyWow from getting a second one time. He was texting me hate texts all.
Oh gosh, get out of here!
I didn't even know it was it. I didn't even know it was in you. Another thing, BobbyWow, I'm rocking some new swag. Check this hat. Oh, shit. It's the newest DFS Army swag. Black in the front, business in the front, party in the back.
Nice.
Feeling good. All right. Guys, game environments. Business in the front, party in the back. It's the hat. Game environments. So I'm going to call out a couple of the ones that are popping, and then I kind of want to get your sense of which are the ones that you guys, which are popping for you, like of this group. So the big ones here, we got Dallas Panthers, 49.5 point total, super close spread. I love that game. Right? We got Seattle at the Jaguars. Interesting one, right? Doesn't stand out as much. Could be under the radar. But also a high total, 47.5 points. Super close, pick 'em game. There's this Colts at home against the Cardinals game where the Colts are heavy favorites, but it brings a high total. That's the biggest team total, I believe, on this entire slate. Oh, no, Green Bay surpasses them a little bit. Patriots at the Saints, also really interesting. And then for me, my favorite, San Francisco at the Bucks. That's the one that's popping for me. And then me, I don't know. I don't really like the Bengals Packers game. So with that group being in the forefront of focus, those all seem like game stackable spots. Burns, I'll start with you. Which of these games is popping for you in the Shark Lab? Is it all of them? Does anything stand out above the others?
Yeah, we'll be on the same games that you just labeled there. I think a game that is going under noticed right now as the projections stand, and it's not really a game, it's just a team. I think it's the LA Rams. I think coming into this game, I think a lot of people are going to play Kyren Williams, and rightfully so. I believe he's in a great matchup. But I also think the passing game is in as good of a matchup, if not better, than the running game. And I think that you can have a lot of Stafford in this one with Puka Nacua. You can double him up with Devontae Adams. And basically you call it a day on that stack because that's pretty much all they have. And, Kyren Williams, he would be your outside of that type of thinking. So when you see a running back that's really high owned, I usually pivot over to the pass game. And then the inverse, when the pass game is really high owned. And then I pivot over to the running game, in which I think a good pivot this week at a very low ownership right now because nobody knows what's going on in that game, but we'll get to it in the run game.
I think last week may have been one of the only times that Stafford actually should have been stacked with Kyren Williams. That is so unlikely and so rare.
Yeah.
That, like, if you double stack Stafford, you were doing poorly. And that's why Stafford didn't really show up in lineups last week. It was Darnold, because I normally would actually nerf the idea of Stafford and Kyren. They don't throw to him that much, but it was fluky more than anything to me. I don't think that's something that we can expect to keep happening. But I like that call out, Burns. Out. Yeah. Baltimore is epically bad defensively.
Yeah, and that's an understatement. If you look at, we're at week 6, not week 2 or 3. They haven't given up less than 37 points. Right? Is it 37? Let me double check that.
Yeah,
they haven't given up less than 37 points this season. Jeez. That is insane. And it doesn't matter if they're at home or away. They're just always bad.
Yeah, so and they're my highest projected point total on the entire slate for a team. So when I see that, I take notice of that.
Yeah. So Josiah, how about you? Give me a game that is popping for you that, like, listen, I rattled off the sexy ones, but one of those, something else. It's usually it does not have to be the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, Panthers are always, or it seems like they're always in the top 3 game environments for whatever reason. I feel like you have to look at them as the obvious place everyone's looking to go. You can attack both teams. Dallas has the worst defense in the NFL right now. Panthers don't have a great offense, but their defense is now around league average. That creates a game environment that you want to attack. And so I'm looking at definitely stacking both sides of that game.
I love that situation. I like it. An offense like the Panthers at home. That's where they excel. We just saw the Giants last night. By the way, props to a lot of the guys in the chat and definitely BobbyWow for believing that the Giants could be competitive last night and put up a big game. And whoa, did they do that?
That was fun.
Yeah. Whoa. Definitely not how I thought that game was going to go down. And maybe there's some trouble in Eagles Town.
I'm so happy for my G-men. Holy crap. When I saw the score, I was like, what?
2 things happened last night with the Giants, in my mind. 2 things happened. One, Jackson Dart actually truly arrived yesterday, and he's here to stay. Like that, he's here to stay now. And the other guy that arrived is Scatterboo.
Yeah.
Right.
So crazy that it took Tracy coming back for him to really kick into gear.
Yeah, but there it is. You saw it, you lived it, you felt it, you tasted it. It's real, and it's not going away.
Only scary thing about Dart is longevity. It's like, don't take all those hits, man.
Yeah, Carmen was calling it out in the chat and in the DFS Army chat afterwards. So I saw you, man. I acknowledge it 100%. He nailed it. Loved Dart as well. So I love that we have a great community that, like, has great ideas, by the way, and put them forward. And one of the great things I think about the DFS Army community is we're not poo-pooing anybody's thoughts or ideas. We all interact with one another and the members just the same. And everybody gets respect. And that is how we do it. And so I appreciate when people bring their great ideas and their thoughts.
And the chat was all over Little Jordan Humphrey before anyone else too. And
Little Jordan was a big one.
Price put up a big game. Yeah,
it was popping like crazy.
Was all over Little Jordan Humphrey.
Absolutely. Okay, so BobbyWow, how about you? Let's move over to you. Give me a game environment that's popping.
I'm in the same boat. I think, the Cowboys, Panthers, people are not going to play enough of the Cowboys side of this game, whether it be Javonte Williams or even Dak in the passing offense. Dak has been honestly, he's been phenomenal the last couple of weeks. And it started with that blow up game against Green Bay, which was really, really impressive. So I'm going to keep riding the Dak train, until it stops at the station. So I love that game quite a bit. Some pieces on the Panthers you could come back with game stacks with. And then the other team that I'm finding myself overweight on, I guess two of them. One is the Bucks. It's kind of tough, to get to Baker, especially on FanDuel. He's really expensive, but hard not to like the Bucks side of the football there. San Francisco has not been great defensively. I am a little worried. I think this might be where the Mac Jones hype train comes to a stop. I'm a little bit worried about Mac here in this one. So I know you love him. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the other game is Colts and Cardinals. Not really excited about the Cardinals side of the football. I know Kyler's banged up. I think he's still going to play. But I really, really like the Colts here. I love Danny Dimes. JT's priced through the roof, but obviously he's in a good spot. But love me some Danny Dimes and Tyler Warren stacks this week.
See, the problem with the Colts offense. So I have two thoughts on this one. My concern with the Colts offense is Jonathan Taylor is so dominant right now that he's nerfing the pass catchers and Danny Dimes' ability to produce a 2 standard deviation unit above the mean kind of performance. So that, right? So it's going to happen, but man, is Jonathan Taylor looming? He's so hot. It's hard to get the rest of them going, but it's one I've thought a lot about that game. I want to love Dimes again, but it requires Taylor not to be as great. Somebody in the chat just mentioned that they're saying Pearsall and Purdy will be in this week. That is not what I heard. So unless that is some new information that's coming out, if somebody could check that, but
yeah, the only other game I would mention is really, once again, one-sided. I didn't want to mention it just in case anyone else would, is the Green Bay Packers. You have to consider them this week.
Yes.
Well, who do you play? Is it Josh Jacobs' town?
Josh Jacobs is the chalky play, but I don't think you're getting too crazy if you're looking at Jordan Love. Stacking gets tough, but you really only need +1 with Dobbs or Golden and Kraft.
Yeah. Oh, and the chat just corrected, and yes, Pearsall and Purdy are out. So we are getting Mac to Bourne. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Listen.
Mac to Bourne.
I told you Bourne last time, and you made the same face.
Not true. That's not true. Don't make things up now. Come on.
All right. All right. Let's go position by position here. The chalk is weird, guys. And interest. I wanted to ask that question because now let's look at who the highest owned projected quarterback is on the slate. And it's no one from any of the games that we just discussed. And that's interesting to me.
Yeah,
so
it's that way.
The highest owned quarterback as of right now on the projection model is Justin Herbert. Interesting. I don't know what to make of that. Feels like that is not the guy that I want to build my week around. But how do you guys feel about Herbert? No one even talked about Chargers Miami.
He's the highest priced quarterback on FanDuel and also equally as highly owned.
Is it bizarre to me? He hasn't had any good games this year, really. He's been hitting 20. His average fantasy points per game is nothing special. I think the thought is with both the running backs out and them down to Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal or whoever the hell they have over there, that it's going to have to be a game where they throw for touchdowns.
Yep, that's the thought process.
I don't know if I'm on board.
And the Dolphins just stink. That's the other side of it.
Yeah. I just don't know if I'm on board.
I know I'm not.
There's some other matchups I want to get into as we get down here. But Danny Jones, the second highest? Trevor Lawrence, Drake May. I mean, the ownerships this week are weird to me.
T-Law's price is low, and I know you hate him, but he was really good last week, Kev. He was phenomenal, I think. He made some really good passes. He ran a couple in. Got lucky at the end with that one. But look, if he's going to be running the football more, that's what makes him playable. And at 5,100, I can at least understand that ownership on him there.
Yeah, the question mark for me with Lawrence all comes down to Seattle's secondary. Are they healthy or are they not? We saw last week against the Bucs, that game exploded because their secondary was trash. But if guys like Julian Love, Witherspoon, Woolen end up playing, the matchup gets awful. So for me, it's all about are they healthy or not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, T-Law's fine at that price also. Let's keep in mind, at 5,100, we don't even need a 30. We're looking for a 20, which is well within the expectation for a home game with that kind of a spread. So I don't mind. I still think T-Law sucks, though. I don't think he's good, and I think he's going to fizzle out. We still haven't seen a good game out of Brian Thomas Jr. yet. True. So, I mean, I think that's coming. Brian Thomas Jr. looks the part. I think that's coming as well, even with mediocre quarterback play. But at that price, he's priced as a mediocre quarterback. I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's weird that he's like at the very, very tip-top high end. Another name, of course, Drake May, right up there in the ownership chart. Drake May hasn't really like done anything to justify a 6K salary tag, but it just feels like it's percolating, and it keeps feeling like it's about to happen. We saw a breakout of Stephon Diggs last week, and maybe that will continue. Maybe that was the beginning of something with Diggs, although with this team, sometimes like the breakout happens and then next week, 3 targets and, you know, Booty gets all the work. I don't know. So
I was a Drake May hater until last week. He passed the eye test. He made some really, really big time throws, big time moments against a Bills team that's pretty solid. To me, he kind of won me over a little bit. I don't know if that's going to mean a really productive fantasy score. That's the question I have. But the game environment's ripe. The Saints stink, so I'm intrigued.
Again, some of these are weird. Dak Prescott, though, I totally get that. Dak Prescott, at this point, what he's doing, it reminds me of a run he had, I'm going to say back in like 2023 or 2022, when like Dak was on fire for weeks and weeks and weeks in a row. We're seeing a little bit of that happening here. It's this combination of terrible defense, but they can score really quickly, that just produces monster games. And I love that game from both sides. Bryce Young as well, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, I like Dak. I don't even mind that ownership. It's interesting that the road quarterback is a little higher on. But the one in the middle there, Jordan Love, man, I can count on one hand the amount of times in the last 2 seasons that Jordan Love, and actually it won't even take a whole hand, that Jordan Love had a fantasy production that was relevant. I think it might be counting it on 2 fingers if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know that it's happened more than 2 or 3 times in the last 2 seasons that this guy put up more than 25 fantasy points in a game. And yet here he is, priced up in a smash spot for Josh Jacobs.
God, he is expensive on FanDuel too. Really expensive.
I'm not into it. I'm not down with that. I'm not getting down with that. Nope. I don't even know what to stack him with. Romeo Doubs, I don't even want to click that button.
Bengals are giving up the second most passing touchdowns in the league. So.
I get it, but like, what are you going to put him with? Doubs?
Kraft?
Tucker? Yeah, Kraft is okay.
There's a lot of ways. It wouldn't shock me.
All right. I mean, interesting chalk, guys. Let me go down to the bottom of the list here. One of the things that I like to do is I like to look at all right, who's low owned but has like a really good prop that doesn't seem to suit the low ownership.
Sam Darnold. I mean, look at him. He's popping again.
Yeah. Sam Darnold looks pretty good. Seattle on the road at the Jaguars. Yeah, that game has potential. I think you could go right back to, we know to stack him with. That part's easy. So Baker Mayfield kind of low owned for what I think is maybe one of the better plays. You don't even need to worry about him either. Double stack, Shepard, Igbuga.
Yeah, Niners are pretty average across the board. The only tough thing about Baker is his price tag, but most expensive quarterback on DK. Is there someone else who can have the same upside for cheaper is the only real question there.
Realistically, DraftKings is so compressed with all the salaries together. It's not like we're paying $7,800. Even though he's the most expensive,
it's not that bad.
Fairly cheap for the most expensive. Like on a normal week, if Josh Allen was on the card, he'd be $8K. He's just not on it. Or if we had Lamar Jackson, be like $7,700. So like, it's not like we just don't have that kind of quarterback on the slate, which is good. Would I consider some naked love? Not with you, Dixon Sider. No,
Jesus.
Definitely not. All right.
Trevor Lawrence, in terms of the prop projection per value, T-Law is far and away the best option on the slate.
I know, and it's why he's gonna pop. I mean, if you sort by fantasy points per dollar, you get the gist here.
But even
it's Trevor, it's Bryce Young, Rattlesnake, Drake May, Daniel Jones. I don't know why Mac Jones isn't higher up on this list. He's the stud of all studs.
I can count on no fingers how many times a Rattlesnake's put up a fantasy winning score.
Yeah, you don't even need your 2 fingers. All right, let's get into studs and duds, guys. We saw the ownerships, so let's go at the top, the bottom, and we'll just go around. And this was the segment that delivered the Sam Darnold play from Burns last week. Burns, I'm gonna let you think on it. Marinate.
Okay.
We'll start with you on the far right, BobbyWow. So we have the whole slate in front of us. Give me 2 quarterbacks that you're most excited to build around in big tournaments, not in cash games. Big tournaments. Who's going to win us the Millie Maker this week?
Yeah, look, I think I talked about it with Dak. I really, really like Dak against this Panthers team. My big concern about this game is whether or not, Bryce Young and the Panthers can put up points. We saw Rico Dowdle last week really carry the offense, which, I think it was kind of encouraging to see that with Chuba out. It's not Chuba necessarily putting in the work. It's, Rico Dowdle's able to 200 yards and a touchdown. Pretty
down
impressive.
17 points. That's the crazy part. Down 17 and Rico starts going off. That was wild.
Yep.
Love
so
Rico.
I like Rico. I like McMillan as well as comebacks, and it's brutal having CD out, but I do think that actually opens up some value too. Alongside of Pickens and Ferguson, there's a couple really intriguing options. Even though Dak's a little higher owned, it sounds gross, but one guy that I have my eye on, if I'm really like getting silly for the million, my Dak stacks is Ryan Flournoy, and we'll talk about that more when we get to wide receiver. But I think Dak's really interesting, and I hate to say it, but I really do think Trevor Lawrence is intriguing, at his price tag on DraftKings in particular. We talked about Brian Thomas not having a breakout game yet. Tough to get excited about him. But I think there's other options in that game that are intriguing as well. So T-Law is a guy that I'm probably going to have some decent exposure to, as gross as it is.
It's kind of like when you play Fields and you're like, man, I'm playing a quarterback that sucks, but could get it done. I definitely don't want to build around Lawrence, but he's going to be in the tournament mix to help win the big GPP.
Yep.
Real quick answer here. This is a really good comment. I want to grab it. No naked love. All right, let's move on. Josiah.
Okay.
Give me a couple of quarterbacks that you're excited to build around for big tournaments this week, and why?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the start. Matthew Stafford is definitely the one I'm looking at getting weird for tournaments. 3% ownership going up against a team that's given up a ton of points. I'm always going to attack that. And then I really want to say Bryce Young to stay on brand, but their right tackle is out this week, and that's our best tackle, Moton. Even Dowdle, like 80% of his runs last week went off to the right, really utilizing Moton. And so that's gotten me a little bit more nervous about Young. And so because of that, I'm just going to say Stafford and Love. Like I said, really just attacking these soft matchups with quarterbacks who might not always have consistent upside, but we know the upside's there.
Crazy. All right. First of all, Renegade, welcome to the team. He's asking how to navigate to the Players Club tomorrow. It's really important, Renegade. Once you've joined DFS Army, that you go to the DFS Army website, click on your account, and connect your Discord to the DFS Army Discord so you can be in our Discord where all of the magic is happening. That's where our community exists. So make sure you're in our Discord. That's where we post all the links to, especially insider only or VIP only shows like the Players Club, which is at noon on Saturdays. So for anybody who's one of the recent joiners, and I actually think we have a couple spots left on that NFL flash sale. That was that 25% off. There's, I think, 2 or 3 left. So if anybody still hasn't done it and you want to check out DFS Army, promo code NFL Flash, and you get 25% off VIP or NFL. It's the best deal we've ever done. And it was celebrating really all of these YouTube viewers who were writing in these 100K wins. We're like, dude, we got to get you on board. So promo code NFL Flash gets you in there, and make sure to join our Discord. And all of the links to our VIP and insider stuff is posted in Discord, and of course on the DFS Army website as well. Okay, Burns, over to you. We're trying to win $1 million this week. We got a couple of quarterbacks that we can build around. Who are we building around?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go chalk because it's, that's just the easy ones. These guys are all chalk for a reason. The game environments are nice. They project well. But, the top quarterback for me, the top quarterback on the slate is Matt Stafford. He's the most efficient. He's the most efficient quarterback on the slate. He's passing for the highest number of yards on the entire slate, over 300 yards passing on average. He projects extremely well. He's going up against the 31st ranked defense in average fantasy points against the position. His DVOA for the player position is off the charts. So he's my number one guy this week. The pass game for the Rams is amazing. This is why I really like him. It's very easy to stack. You just stack him with Puka and you stack him with Devontae, call it a day. It's very easy. You don't have 5 receivers or 3 guys that you're like, where is he going to go? Like with Love, don't know where he's going to go with the football. So I really like Stafford in this one. Away favored quarterbacks they have not done well this year in top 20 milli maker lineups. They've actually only been in a top 20 milli maker lineup once this year in 5 weeks, which is very rare. But I think that it's going to start to shift. The first 3 weeks was owned by the home underdog run quarterbacks. I think you're going to start to see a shift. And you're going to start to see regression to the mean, which is always a statistical, occurrence that's going to happen. So,
and we saw some last week. We saw that start to happen.
Yeah. So, home favorites always are a viable option. But I think you're going to see away favorites to start to mature in the ownership projection, in the ownership in across the top 20 milli maker lineups. But a guy that I think is a little underowned for his matchup this week. I think he's a lot underowned. I think he's the lowest owned quarterback on the entire slate, and I will have shares in him just because of the fact that I believe that shares of him, and he actually produces. He can actually win you the slate, and he's been very efficient. He lost his top receiver, but we see that his new top receiver is actually better than his old top receiver. So I will be running out to a Tagovailoa this week. He's very efficient. His completion percentage is one of the highest completion percentages on the entire slate of quarterbacks at over 70%. His TD percentage is crazy. It's at 6.7%. That rivals Josh Allen. That rivals Lamar before he got hurt. So this guy is like, how is he less than 1% owned? Usually guys are just like in his range are probably like 2-3% owned, but he's less than 1% owned. It's very easy to stack. It's Jalen Waddle, and it is Darren Waller if you feel like going to the tight end there. That's it. Like There is no Devon Achane. He's a home underdog. He's not. Not going to happen. It's just it's the Waddle show with this one for me. I'll double stack him with Waller and Waddle and call it a day, and it's a super low owned stack and a super low salaried stack. So, yeah,
I like it.
I thought you were gonna say Aaron Rodgers for a little bit there.
I was like, I'm down to Gannon for the lowest owned one. I'm like, is he gonna go? I don't know.
To be honest with you, I teetered him.
Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward.
I teetered with Aaron Rodgers because of the fact that he's actually been very efficient this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a high touchdown rate. He's got a high completion percentage. But the only thing that bothers me with that game is the other side of the game. I just don't think they can keep up.
Yeah.
Or it could be a slogfest like normal with these conference games. In that conference, it's a slugfest and it's all defense all the time. So that's my only reasoning why I didn't really want to go with him, even though I do like DK Metcalf in this game. But yeah.
I'm not playing Aaron Rodgers ever.
That's why we didn't say it. I just thought that's where he was going to go.
That is never going to happen. Even Tua, Tua stringing multiple high production games together is very rare. It just, I can't even remember when it's happened. But I guess their running game has been less dominant this year than it had been. They're just an efficient team, as you said, Burns. And if the running game stops being efficient, this is a big, I think one of the big secret, it's not a secret, but it's like one of the reasons that scoring happens in DFS. And it's sometimes so challenging to figure out where the scoring is going to come. Like we have a fairly good idea of which teams are set to score a lot of points, right? We have Vegas lines. There's a lot of money betting on that, but it's who's going to get it? Is it the dominant running back? Is it Jonathan Taylor? Or is it going to be one of those games where they just randomly throw for touchdowns? And that adds that little bit of mystery. That is why you never quite know what can happen. Like we could talk up Stafford all you like, but the team score just like the Colts last week. They scored 40, but Daniel Jones only put up 16 because all right, Jonathan Taylor was absolutely destroying everything and they didn't need to throw. And that happens sometimes. And then other times they just randomly throw for touchdowns, even though you would think they'd run it there. It's just like, oh, no, fake the handoff, Waller. And then it's like, oh, wow, look at that. Tua just smashed. I think Waller has a lot to do with Tua's resurgence because it's been him getting all the touchdowns. They needed a giant body in the end zone. They have these little wide receivers and they're not that great at getting them the ball.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at it, yes, last weekend is an anomaly across the entire DFS spectrum for as long as I've been doing DFS. I've never seen a 30% quarterback win someone $1 million. Never has it happened. I've seen 20%ers. I've never seen a 30+% quarterback win somebody $1 million. And last week it happened. It won't happen again because it's an anomaly. It's an outlier.
You rarely get the 30% on quarterback, in fairness, Burns. It's not like that happens that frequently. But it's
I wish to tell you, to be quite honest with you, I wish that Darnold was the winning quarterback because Fields didn't deserve to be the winning quarterback last week.
Garbage time still counts.
I get it, but he didn't deserve it. He did not deserve it. I loved him when he played for Ohio State, but he did not deserve that.
Fields has been terrible, but you know what? It could have been terrible. Trevor Lawrence winning you $1 million too, and he don't deserve it either.
I know, and I was watching that game, and I was like,
"Jeez!"
I was like, "Well, they only had 2 games, and they were both terrible, And so, and I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so bad. He's killing my lineups with him. He is so bad. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell just happened? It's like, but. Yeah.
The game I'm gonna highlight, guys, as we all went through it. I will highlight that Bucks 49ers game. I like what I have to see there. People aren't realizing the Bucks are a massive pass funnel defense. They can stop the run somewhat, even if McCaffrey's doing. And this is what I was talking about before about how that dominant running back can really affect quarterback production and just where the fantasy points go. In the case of this one, it's really hard to run up the gut on the Bucks. They still have Vita Vea there. I feel like we've been talking about him for 7, 8, 9 years. This guy's been in the league forever. but he's just a giant man that can't be moved. He's like a house. And so they're going to have to throw. The Bucs have been a pass funnel defense. And I want to tell you another thing. I don't think they lose a damn thing with Mac Jones in there. I don't think he's all that different. He showed a lot of heart last week, and he showed a great connection with Kendrick Bourne. So I really like that. And Tongas. Bourne and Tongas, the tight end. So I like the Mac Jones spot. I'm going back to it. They got rid of the Q tag, took it off. No more Q. He's fine. When that kid came out of the game and he's like, no, I'm going back in. I was like, oh, yeah, look at the heart going from Mac Jones right now. I was just excited. I love watching him. It's great. And Bourne looks out there looking like Brian Thomas Jr., all slender, athletic.
Reality's going to hit hard to pass.
I'm telling you, look good out there, man. That doesn't mean play Mac Jones in all of your lineups, but it is a fun stack to work with this week at fairly low ownership. But I actually think the Baker side of that game is better. So I want to be on Rashad White. I want to be on Ibuka. I want to be on Sterling Shepard. Save a little money. A little spendy. I like to save a little money there. And then we bring it back with pieces from the 49ers or vice versa. I'll be on Mac Jones. I'll get Bourne in there. I'll get Tongas in there. And then I'll bring it back with something or another from the Bucs, all right? Rashad or something else. Rashad White, 80. I don't want to talk about running backs yet, but I have a lot of stats. But we'll talk about that in a running back spot. Guys, any final thoughts on the quarterback position? Somebody we didn't talk about that could pop here this week. Geno Smith or some other low-owned gem. Sam Darnold, 1.5%. Maybe that's our gem.
Can we just mention? Sorry, go ahead, Bernsey.
No, I was just going to say on Sam Darnold. I had him last week, and members in the chat were asking me about him this week, and I just said, "Yeah, I got to think about it. I got to think it through. I'm not on away underdog quarterbacks. Home underdog quarterbacks, okay. Away underdog quarterbacks, yes, they've done okay this year. They've had their fair share. Regression of the mean means that they're not going to have their fair share moving forward." So I'm kind of off that a bit. Same with, the rest of the away underdogs. So sorry, Bobby.
Isn't it a toss up? Isn't it like a pick 'em game?
It's a 1.5 spread right now.
Burns, that's not an underdog. That's
I have it at even.
If you look on a different sports book, you're getting it as a pick 'em.
Okay. Well, we'll see what it comes out to be before lock. I can change it. I mean,
by the end of this show, we're going to have permission from Burns to go back to Darnold JSN stacks. That's what's up, AJ Barner.
I will 100% tell people if the line switches, I will be on him. Trust me, I will be on Darnold again, and it's a very easy stack.
Don't forget to include AJ Barner.
Yes, Barner had a good day. But I don't think this is the Barner week because I think Jacksonville is an incredibly tough defense against the tight ends.
Oh, unfortunate.
Can we just address the Joe Flacco situation before we move on?
Yeah.
Good to mention.
Give us a break. What are your thoughts on Flacco, Bobby? Wow.
Look, I think he's like, everyone's excited about him. There's so many people all over the industry I see, Joe Flacco is going to be sneaky. Give some Joe Flacco this week. I want to be excited about min price Joe Flacco as much as anybody else. But holy crap, I don't know that I've ever seen a lower team total or worse props projection on any quarterback than Joe Flacco. It is horrific. Like I want to be excited. He's got Chase. He's got Higgins. He's got Chase Brown even to throw the football to. It's a much better offense than he's been working with. Wow, the numbers, every single number says do not touch him. So I don't know. Do you guys have any different thoughts?
Dylan Gabriel led Cleveland is 2.3 points higher than him in my numbers for an implied team total. And I'm like, how is he that bad?
Team total's 15.
No, it's no good. Listen, I want to play Flacco too. Let's be real. I love Flacco. No one's been hyping up Flacco for more years than I have when he comes in on these spot starts. I love that shit. The guy's out there slinging it. We've been talking about this for years. The problem is he just got there. I don't even mind that he just got there, but you get the brutal matchup on the road at a very, very nasty Packers defensive team. I think it's next week.
Yeah,
I almost think like the best
week.
thing that could happen is just a fail from Flacco. Like fail, terrible, looks like shit.
3 interceptions, a fumble.
And then let's all set a reminder on our calendar right now. Guys, we expected Flacco to be shit week 1, but next week at home, we play Flacco when no one wants him.
Yep.
It's like a reminder, a mental note. We knew he was going to be bad before he was. Now, that said, he could be awesome. There is a little Flacco magic that could happen.
Like at 4K, you really don't have anything to lose, honestly. Like that's the one thing, is he's so freaking cheap. He could just, in a blowout even, he could luck into a score high enough. But I just, every number says don't do it.
And even though he already beat Green Bay, that was the most defensive win ever. Like there was barely any offense in that game. And he certainly didn't win us a tournament on his way to beating Green Bay.
That's why they brought him in.
Yeah. Like for this one win. I mean, I thought they brought him in to save our fantasy teams that have Jamar Chase and Chase Brown on them.
No, they would have brought in Winston if they really cared about us that much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you're right. Yeah. Why didn't they bring in J-Mo?
They don't want us to be happy.
He stinks, Kev. He stinks.
Whoa.
He's so good. He's so good. You're so wrong about that. So wrong about it.
Every NFL coach.
BobbyWow, right about everything except for J-Mo. That's where you went wrong.
I love when you speak with your
That's
heart.
where it all went downhill. Guys, let's move on to the running back position. For NFL, I just remembered something. Yeah, let's move on to the running back position for NFL Week 6. And as always, I'm going to start with a little sort by P-own just to see what the general consensus ownerships are. And guys, what I'm seeing here is there is no consensus whatsoever this week. Everybody's good. And that was actually my take when I was putting together my cheat sheet this week. I was like, all. You know how you like we do our cheat sheets for those of you guys who are watching who aren't actually subscribing. We all put out cheat sheets and we kind of have different recommendations for, do I want to play him in tournaments? Is this a GPP only? Is this a good cash guy? Is he good for all formats? And for me, I was doing my sheet. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's good everywhere. All. I'm like, wait a minute. I got like 7 guys who are in spectacular cash, viable, I'll play him anywhere kind of spot. Man, that's too many. I'm going to only play 3. But that's what the ownerships are showing that. CM sizzles, 22%. Rico Dowdle right there. He projects amazingly well. You got Javonte, who might be my favorite. I don't know. I love Javonte. Projecting massive. Jonathan Taylor has dominated this whole season. HN, okay. Janty, though, what a spot for Janty in a defensive domination potentially for the Raiders. Sorry, guys in the chat who said Cam Ward. I am not on board yet. Not yet. And then Kyron against the Raiders. Everybody's in a good spot. How do you choose? How do you choose? They're all good. Josh Jacobs as a 20-point favorite. Rachaad White filling in that awesome game. There's a lot of goodness here. I like all of these guys. So I'm really curious to see how we break it down, how you guys break this all up. I'm just reading something in the chat. I'm trying to understand. Beat writers are saying something. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Brisket work with starters in practice despite Murray returning. So is this a Kyler thing where we're thinking maybe Kyler might not play this week? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's questionable.
Okay.
He practiced though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to play.
I think it's fine. All right. So with that being said, guys, you saw who the chalk is. Let's sort by studs and duds. And I'm going to start with the studs. Let's call it, I don't know, over 6, like this little group here. So we'll go with this foursome of pay up options. Janty, Jacobs, HN, McCaffrey, Taylor. Burns, do you have a preference? Do any of these stand out? Is this where you're going this week?
Yeah, I mean, you got to live in this range. Josh Jacobs is in an incredible matchup. The spread is telling you that it's a run game. They're going to get up big, and they're just going to run it. And Jacobs could have 2+ touchdowns in this game. Genty is in a fantastic spot to Tennessee is a team that's actually strong against the pass, but very weak against the run. And he's in a very good spot here at home, too. I love this spot for him. Christian McCaffrey, something that I wrote up in my cheat sheets about Christian McCaffrey, and I'll actually lean this towards Rachaad White as well. Christian McCaffrey is going up against a too high look in this game. And he has been targeted against too high shell usages from a defensive scheme, which he's going up against in Tampa Bay 41% of the time in his routes. He's not going to get there on the ground. He's going to get there through the air. And what I also like about Rachaad White, now that Bucky Irving is out in this game, is that he is actually, when Tampa Bay plays zone-specific defenses and San Francisco rushes, or they actually play zone defensive scheme in the 11th highest in the NFL right now. He and Bucky Irving were targeted very high, 27% of the time versus zone. So that's incredibly high for a running back. And he's going to have the full share of workload out of the backfield this week. So these two guys, I added them late to my cheat sheet before the show because of these numbers. But yeah, for me, it's Jonathan Taylor. It's Josh Jacobs. It's Ashton Genty. And then I'll follow it with CMC behind them.
Yeah, CMC's prop is crazy good. He blows away everybody with 24. Like his projection is
it's not even close.
Yep.
Yeah. Why? I don't really even understand why, but there it is. I think a lot of those injuries are getting it done.
It's the targets. Burns nailed it.
They have no other option but to give it to him.
But those touchdowns haven't been there for McCaffrey yet this year.
Doesn't matter.
Imagine he starts scoring touchdowns, guys. That's where you get from the 25 to the 38s. That's where you start to see those scores that break the slate. He has not had a slate breaker yet. You know, I hate to say
I think we almost gotta get rid of that knowledge though of we need 7x for a guy like we have not needed it. We haven't needed a 40.
Yeah.
We haven't needed a 40 from a running back to win the millie yet.
So when Jonathan Taylor put up like a 30.
Of course. It helps when JT's put up massive scores. But I'm just saying CMC, even without the touchdowns, you could make a case for him, in the winning lineup. He's been that good and he's gotten that many targets, especially from Zach Jones. So really, really love him.
He's been getting 10 plus targets when Mac is at the helm. So I don't know if Jawan Jennings is going to play this week. I think that'll maybe make a little bit of a difference, but not that much. Josiah, high-end running back, do you have a preference? I mean, these guys are all really good.
Yeah, no, I don't have any different feelings than Burns. I think maybe the only guy he didn't mention here was Jacobs, and he's someone I'm going to have exposure to when I'm not playing Love.
Yeah. And actually, Javi, as an interesting question, are any of these running backs worthy of more than 30%? I would have said normally on a regular week, yes. But this week with so many really stud options, I don't see how you go that high on anyone. Why? Why would you? Yeah, McCaffrey. Look, we're even having a hard time picking from these guys. As a matter of fact, I almost want to take this whole segment and go, these guys are all fucking great. Pick 3 of them, put them in your lineups. You're going to be fine. Hopefully you pick the right ones. But yeah, Taylor's awesome. McCaffrey's great. Josh Jacobs, spectacular. Janty, wonderful. Javon Williams, even better than all of them, possibly. Kyron, yeah, spectacular. Again, not Henry, no. Walker, no. But Rachaad White, interesting. And then Rico Dowdle. And that's how I would do my whole week. Do we even have to stick with the running back section? Is there anything I just said, Josiah, that you disagree with at all? Am I missing something here, or is it just that group?
That group's fantastic. I'm with you.
BobbyWow, tell me where I just went wrong with that.
I don't know that you went wrong. But I think there are guys I'll be getting 30+% ownership on, and that's CMC. And again, domination station is my Jesus. Domination station is my Jesus. The props projection is my Bible. CMC is the savior in terms of that perspective. Love CMC. Javonte, we're not giving Javonte enough love. That guy is way underpriced for his role against what I think is a really, really subpar run defense for the Panthers. I think Javonte could absolutely smash at 6,400. He's getting tons and tons of volume. He's not getting enough love for me. So I love Javonte. We talked about Rachaad White. and Rico Dowdle, like those 4 guys, I'm going to be way over the field on. So there are definitely good plays around them that you mentioned, but those 4 guys to me are far and away, I think the top options.
All right, but first, the Panthers are not they're now an average defense. They're not the god awful defense from last year. We have to move past that a little bit. But they are still a defense we can attack. We can attack them.
And we don't have Miles Sanders to worry about, so he's out for the entire season on the IR. So it's Javonte Williams, full board, go. He's got the full backfield.
I just thought of you ever see there used to be there was a movie called, I think it was The Jerk with Steve Martin. And it's you won't have to worry about me anymore. And he's acting like a jerk and being all crazy and no one cares. And he's I'm out of here. And I was thinking about that with Miles Sanders. I wasn't that worried about him to begin with. That guy stinks. So heal well, Miles Sanders, but it's Jaden Blue backup running back season. And I'm here for that. But yes, give me all the Javonte. I just sorted the domination station by fantasy points per dollar. So by value, based off the prop projection, the top value play on this entire slate of running back is Christian McCaffrey at 8,400. What? He's also the most expensive. But it's all those names that we just talked about: Christian McCaffrey, Javonte Williams, Kyron Williams, Rico, Josh Jacobs, White, Ashton Jeanty, Jonathan Taylor, and then we get into the secondary crew. And so let me actually pose this around, because the good ones, we know who they are. Anybody from the secondary? Michael Carter, maybe. What about Michael Carter? He's the one guy down here that for me, I was if I want to get weird and different, as studly as everybody else is, the only extra one I added for my list. So I'm going to pass this around. Who's that one guy that doesn't fall in the main crew that's popping for you? For me, it was Michael Carter. He got 80% of the touches last week. And then DeMarcado comes in and fucking throws the football at the half-yard line through the end zone and screws the team and causes them to lose. If you're the coach, or you're DeMarcado, we're going to give you more touches, or are you you're cut from the team, don't ever come around here no mo. Don't come around here no mo.
Volume should be there for him. I can't do it, though.
The only problem with Michael Carter, he's a road underdog in a matchup that looks like they're going to get smashed. But so what? He's also 3% owned.
Yeah, I think everybody in that upper group is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But you may have to have a couple of these guys down below the 6K range, just depending on your build, because a lot of people have those guys, and rightfully so, right? 100%.
Who's the cheapie that you
one
can
guy?
with?
Yeah, a guy under 6K that I'm probably going to have some ownership in is Travis Etienne this week. I do actually like him a bit. I think his prop is good in this range of salary, and he actually projects well in this game. So I don't mind him at all, because he is a pass catching running back, and look at what Rachaad White did to Seattle last week. I mean, he did it all through the air. He had a little bit on the ground, but it was mainly through the air. And so that's kind of why I like him a little bit this week, because he is my under 6K guy that I like.
I'm good with it. Anybody else have a creeper running back that they like that's not in the top crew? Josiah?
Yeah, well, first I'll speak to Burns's that he likes with who is he on? Blanking. He just said
Etienne.
Etienne, yeah. I mean, this whole season, Seattle struggled against receiving backs. We saw it week 1, 2 of CMC. He went off. Granted, it is CMC, but I'm totally fine. If they try to run with Etienne a ton, I think they might struggle against Seattle, but as long as they use him through the air, could be good. The guy I'm looking at is Haskins for the Chargers. Their running back room is god awful. It is scary. We saw firsthand what Dowdle did to this Miami defense. They made Dowdle look like the second coming of Derrick Henry. He is not, but the Dolphins can't tackle anybody. And Haskins hasn't shown a lot so far throughout his career, but he should be the main back here. You can take some shots on Vidal, but I expect him to be more of that receiving back. I think Nyheim Hines might even get a few touches there too, but Haskins is really the guy I'm going to focus on here.
Didn't Harbaugh coach Haskins at Michigan? Or am I making that up?
Timing should align, I think.
Maybe. I can't remember exactly, Bobby.
There's some connection there too that has me intrigued. I can't remember if it's that, but I'm in the same boat, Josiah.
I'm just going to make a little comment. It's a Seinfeld reference.
Oh boy.
2017 called. They want their running back. And that's from the Nyheim Hines reference right there. Like, what did we go back in time to the 80s? How the hell is Nyheim Hines still in the NFL in any way, shape, or fashion? Like, I haven't heard that guy's name in 8 years. He's still around.
That's how bad their room is.
That's who they got. They couldn't find Devontae Freeman. He's not out there somewhere, ready to step in to the little backup running back role. Remember him? He would always show up like in his 30s, just as the running back somewhere. Is Cam is that not Cam Ward? Is Cam Akers not floating around? Where's he?
I wish Judkins was lower owned. It will make him more interesting, but
Judkins is good though.
Who was the other guy? Mike Davis that always showed up.
Where's Mike Davis in the thighs? In his giant thighs.
Mike Davis.
What's going on here? Haskins. Other people asked about the Haskins Vidal combo, and my sense is with so many studs at like 5,900, I'm not saving enough to really roll that dice. I don't see the benefit. I'll just play a 5. There's studs everywhere. I can't even figure out how to get them in my lineups. How am I finding spot? The one guy though that, like I said Carter and BobbyWow. I don't know if it went to you, but like the only other one that really I thought might be a little sneaky might be Ramondre Stevenson, but it doesn't feel very good at all to do it.
No. I'm with you on Carter. I think Carter he's the volume guy. You got to, at this point, Demercado fumbled. Certainly the volume's not going to change, if not get better for him. And I think with Haskins, more of a FanDuel play for me. He's way lower than anybody else on FanDuel. And the thing about him is, he was getting touches even when these guys were like, for some reason, he would find himself in the game randomly and get a touch or two anyway. So like, for whatever reason, I do think Harbaugh, again, and he coached him at Michigan. I think there's some trust there with Haskins, which just makes me lean to him a little bit. I'm not saying he's a great play or get, like 25% exposure, but especially on FanDuel where he's, floor price, basically, some intrigue there if you're trying to get silly for the millie.
Yeah. I can much prefer getting down with him on FanDuel where the touchdown is really the main factor in what's going to happen. And I could see him, again, it's Miami and they're clearly not very good against running backs. So I like the call and I like it I agree with you as a fan dual play. Guys, let's move on to the wide receiver position. But first, I got to remind everybody about the Sharp app. Guys, Sharp app delivers plus EV tools for advantage bettors, highlighted by the arbitrage tool, which you're seeing on screen below me right now. Let me explain what this does, because your mind is going to be blown when you see what's going on here. Okay. Sharp app effectively is just scanning all of the sports books in your area, every other area, for market inefficiencies. Imagine betting on sports where losing is not part of the equation of your betting. You simply always win when you get your bets down when they're in arbitrage. Let me explain here. Right here, you see, this is live. This is not something that I just loaded up. This is just the live tool right now. So let's say you're a person who was sitting around and you're like, let me make $20, right? Everybody likes $20. You would bet $134 on Ian Strong over 6.5 receptions at plus 165. And then you're going to bet, and you do that on Fanatics. And then on FanDuel, you're going to go and bet under 6.5 receptions at minus 128. You're going to put $200 on that. If the under wins, you're going to get all the money back that you lost on the other bet plus $22.25. And if the over wins, you're going to get all the money you lost on the other side plus an extra $21, no matter which side it goes. The over, the under, doesn't matter. You win. And bonus. Let's say that you did this on Fanatics, and let's say Ian Strong gets hurt in the first half, and you bet his over on Fanatics. They refund you the bet, and you still win the over. So there are ways where you win massive money. This tool is spectacular. If you are a sports bettor, if you've lost any money to a sports book and you want to take it back, or you want to stop betting guesses and start betting mathematic edges, check out the Sharp app. You can get a 7-day free trial of this tool with promo code Geek. And that is the thing. You don't believe me? You're like, this sounds too good to be true. Go check it out. Go to sharp.app right now. FanDuel.com/geek or use code geek, and you'll get a 7-day free trial of Sharp App Ultimate with live in-game arbitrage. This is the pregame tool, what you're seeing here. It's changing live on screen. It's happening nice and slow. In-game is 10 times crazier. The arbs are massive, and you can do it and just have a lot of fun during game day, printing some money. I've been able to make about $300 an hour during game days. I've live streamed all of those for everybody to see. And you see them in real time. There's a 13%er. Oh my God, I got to get off. Sorry, guys, you're on your own. Just kidding. Another one will pop up later. But that's how it happens all throughout the day. Mayfield, how about this? Over 279 yards, under 289 yards. That's a middle, guys. There's a version of that bet where you're going to win both sides of it. But even if you don't, no matter which way wins, $200 bets, you're going to be up $50. That is insane. That's what this tool does. It's real. This is live on screen. You could go bet this right now as you're watching this, if you're watching this live. That is a live arb. You just saw it pop up in real time. Okay. Sharp.app/geek, 7-day free trial of these tools. You got to check it out. It is a moneymaker. And that's what I try to bring everybody, moneymakers, every week. That's why I have this crew, this golden crew of breakdown artists. They're delivering moneymakers. You know who made a lot of money watching the show last week? Dino. Because Burns was kicking out brilliance. No one mentioned me being excited about playing Fields last week, but okay. Oh, you're a donkey, geek. All right, fine. Fine. I'll take it. All right, where were we?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver group, NFL Week 5, the chalk. Let's take a look and see who the chalk is at wide receiver. And it's not shocking. Puka?
You can't
Olave? Okay. Ted McMillan, I like that play. George Pickens. I need to ask you, Josiah, about George Pickens. We have to have a conversation about.
I mean, it's the same argument as last week with Waddle. Waddle, we talked about, he's going to see a ton of targets, but most of the game he'll have Horn covering him. But if there's motions or when he's on the opposite side and Horn doesn't travel, he'll have those openings to have a big game. And that's exactly what Waddle did. And Pickens will have the same opportunity most of the game. Probably won't do too much, but he'll have his moments.
Can I load up on Pickens, Josiah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I want to know. Diggs popping a little bit. Allen Igbuka, JSN, the usual suspects. Anything stand out here, guys, as you're looking at this? It's not that chalky anywhere. Outside of like Olave, weirdly, a little highly owned, but I'm okay with it, but also seems a little weird because he has not had a good game. He has 10 plus targets every week, but somehow he's only able to produce 13 fantasy points. I don't know how, I don't even know how you can do it, but he keeps doing that. I like the math. I don't fully grasp how you can catch 10 passes and still only score 9 fantasy points when it's a PPF, but somehow he's pulling it off. I don't know how he's doing it. But beyond that, does anything seem weird to you other than the Zay Flowers 11% ownership? Like, who the fuck's playing that guy?
I think that's because we had a good week last week with Rush. I feel like that's the only reason why.
Yeah. All right. Good luck with that. Not going to be me. Burns, anything weird here? No?
No, I think this is pretty much how it should be set up from an ownership perspective. Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's get into studs and duds, guys. At the wide receiver position, we got pay up options here. I'm going to go 6K and up because there's fewer players on the slate. So there's guys I really love towards the bottom of this. I love towards the top. I love it all, actually. Who don't we like at 6K and up? But BobbyWow, I'll start with you this time. Josiah, you're sandwiched in the middle. I will never start with you if you're in the middle.
I like that.
You have to place yourself on an end because if I'm not going either clockwise or counterclockwise, I don't remember what the hell I'm doing here. Sorry.
I do that to myself, just so you know.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard, John Marchese says. We're not there yet, but we'll get to the pay downs. But BobbyWow, Puka, Jamar Chase, JSN, Emeka, Pickens, Devontae, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Waddle, Ted McMillan, a nice group of studs, 6K and up. Where are you going this week? You got to click the button.
Look, I just did mention up top, I don't think anyone would disagree with Puka and that chalk. I think Puka has been so unbelievably good every single game this season. Now he's got arguably the best matchup on the planet against a Ravens defense that just bleeds points to opposing pass catchers and really everyone in the offense. Puka is phenomenal, 100 rating. Nothing wrong about Puka this week. So he's the obvious guy. I think that's chalk you can eat comfortably. No worries about that.
Gotta afford it. It's a little spendy.
It's a little spendy. His price is getting up there. That's maybe the one reason that you could be underweight in tournaments, because you won't be able to pay up at running back. But we talked about there's plenty of value to at running back, so really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. I don't hate JSN as well. He seems under-owned to me in this matchup against the Jaguars. People are a little bit down on him, but JSN, I think he's in a fine spot, and he's a guy that could pop off. And just compared to all these guys on this kind of smaller slate, he could turn out to be one of the highest scoring, if not the highest scoring wide receiver. So I like his upside here. And then, the other guy is Pickens. We talked about Pickens. It's not like JC's going to shadow him like Josiah talked about. And CeeDee Lamb's out, Turpin's out. Pickens has been the guy for Dak. So I love going right back there again this week.
A lot of goodness up here. I think to me, my builds will be kind of like quarterback based. All right, if I'm using Baker or something around that game, that's where this group for me,
agreed,
is almost always and exclusively quarterback or game based for me. Like, all right, if I'm playing, Ted and Pickens in a skinny stack, or if I'm playing something from that game, cool. I'll probably have JSN and a lot of bringbacks, with Trevor, I guess, something like that. Like if I'm building around the game, that's how it's going to go. Everybody talking about a nor'easter, guys. I want to address this real quick, and I've been doing this for a long time now, and weather conditions are always challenging. And this is what I've concluded after 15, 20 years of fantasy football and maybe 12, 13 years of DFS or longer, actually 14, 15 years. Just pay attention to the game total. Forget the weather, the team total and the game total. And if it's going down towards the game time, you can start to get nervous about those players. But if that game total is not moving, just ignore any kind of weather nonsense. The bettors are paying closer attention to the weather than we are. Okay, some maniac that's putting $25,000 down on an over is watching and paying attention to the weather. And if he feels that wind or rain is going to affect the ability of these teams to put up a lot of points, they're going to bet the under. So for that reason, just pay attention to the totals. I'm not a weatherman. You think it's going to be windy, and then it's not. You think it's going to be rainy, and then it's not. We don't know. But the game total, the money is betting on this. So you can just look at that, and if you start to see movement, or if a game total seems weirdly low compared to what it should be, that's when you allow the weather to fucks with you.
Agreed.
So that's my take on that. Burns, pay up wide receiver, or are you kind of on board with the same thing everybody said? We like them all. We're just quarterback based here. Or does anybody stand out as a Shark Lab special play?
No, I'm right there with you guys. I think they're all amazing plays. JSN is a fantastic play week in and week out. He showcased it again last week, him into Mecca. I mean, the Ohio State boys are showing up. It's like, hey.
Yes, they are.
What I will say is JSN was in the slot since he started with the NFL, and this is his first year basically being on the outside. He was on the outside with Ohio State. I've said this a couple of times this year. Since he moved to the outside, it has been just incredible for him. This is where he lived and died for the Buckeyes, and saw many games with him on the outside, and he just crushed hopes and dreams of the defenses on the other side. So, I'm so happy that he's on the outsides now, because this is where he makes all of his money. And Emeka's just been crushing.
So good.
I did not expect this much of a breakout from him immediately, but I'm so happy for him. This is an amazing breakout for him.
You didn't know that Evans and Godwin were going to be toast.
Right. Yeah.
To start the season off. Quick dynasty question for you guys. So Emeka Egbuka and Jackson Dart in Superflex Dynasty went back to back in drafts this year, and they're both so studly. I was kind of going back and wondering if we could redraft it now, because Egbuka went right before Jackson Dart. would that flip flop? And I just I mean, they're both so good.
No, Ekbuka all the way. Jackson
Yeah.
Dart's had one good game. He's had one good game. Come on, let's.
They both would be drafted way earlier.
And no, super flex. The quarterbacks do get a lot of cachet.
It's true.
I actually think Dart would go ahead of him in most super flex, but barely. Like a super stud wide receiver is worth a stud quarterback. Like those two things are similar in Dynasty, and just clearly Dart was going well ahead of Cam Ward. Cam Ward is now somebody that you wouldn't be touching until the end of until round 2, basically, in a super flex type startup.
Yep.
But Kev, I'll address Code Rez's question here real quick. No, I don't X any wide receivers out of my player pool. Xing out of players is basically done at the quarterback, running back, and defense.
There it is.
There is one Ohio State receiver though that
that's
we
a
don't
good nugget there,
Barnesy.
Barnesy. I like that.
Somebody asked about cash players as well.
I'm not bringing up
here.
MHJ.
If I'm paying up in cash, I'm buying Puka.
Yeah.
And I think the mid-priced cash play here, like when you look at this whole group, it's probably got to be Jalen Waddle in the mid-level at 6K. We didn't talk a lot about Jalen Waddle, but you know what? I poo-pooed it last week, but Jalen Waddle showed us that they're gonna throw it to him when Tyreek's not there, and he got 9 targets, had a really big game, looked really good against a relatively difficult Panthers defensive scheme, and so I just think we're gonna see more of the same here, and he's probably due for another 10 targets, and that's probably really plenty for a 6K player on DraftKings. Like I think that's enough, so that's going to be probably someone that I think will be featured heavily in cash lineups. But let's go to the secondary group, guys. We even need to get a really big we need to get a turd going in this one too, because everybody's throwing names out there of very expensive running backs. We got a lot of expensive wide receivers here. We're going to have to get like a sub 5K or even a sub 4K guy in there probably to make it work, especially if you want to play Puka, or if you're going to Burns it up with Puka, Adams, and Matthew Stafford. Man, I need some affordability. So we're going to get to that part as well. But let's get into the zone here. Burns, I'll start with you. 6K and below. So we didn't really talk about some of these other names. We said a lot of these guys are names you want to mix with their quarterback. And I'll go back. Brian Thomas. Yeah, I'm going to play him with Trevor Lawrence. I'm probably not going to play very much without Trevor Lawrence, but I'll play him with Trevor Lawrence, right? Cool. Waddle, I think he's playable in all formats. And then, but like a Ted McMillan, I'm just using him for that game. I don't need him stinking up my lineups if it doesn't work. I'll play him in that game. If he's going crazy, I'm going to assume other players in that game are going crazy. I'll have Javonte, I'll have Pickens, I'll have all those guys, even Flower Noy. Just wanted to say that name, Flower Noy. So, Burns, in this secondary group, you got Quentin Johnston, Jacoby, Diggs, McConkey and Allen. All of these secondary names. Pearsall's out. Who's popping for you? Give me 2 names, sub 6K, that Burns Shark Lab is excited to click the button on in NFL Week 6.
Yeah, for me, if we're not looking at Ted and we're not looking at Waddle in this one, and it'll be the first time I actually rostered him all year, is Stefan Diggs. I have not been able to click the button on him yet. And it wasn't because of last week that I'd be clicking the button here. It's the actual fact that he's going up against a cover 3, cover 4 defense. And he is incredibly stout against cover 3s and cover 4s this year. He's had route percentage against cover 3s of 41.1%. His yards per route ran in cover 3 is 3.49. His fantasy points per route in cover 3 is over half a point at 0.62 points. Cover 4, I mean, we even get better. His route percentage isn't as high because you don't face as many cover 4 defenses in the NFL as you do cover 3s. And so cover 4, he runs about a 20.8% route percentage. His yards per route ran are 4.13, and he has almost 0.8 points of fantasy points per route. That's incredibly high. We saw a breakout last week with him with Drake May. I think you just see him and Drake May have probably, they've come together as a unit, and I think they continue to produce fantasy goodness from here on out. But you got Hunter Henry there too. So I like Drake May. I like Hunter Henry in this one as well, and I like Diggs. But yeah, he's my guy if I can't go with Tet or Waddle in this range.
I like it. I like the Diggs. Diggs is one of those guys. I want to get comfortable with it. The prop is pretty good. Like it's really good. It's not quite, Tet is significantly better, as is Waddle for a very similar price, but because we haven't seen Diggs do it more than once. We saw it once. So was it the breakout or was it the revenge game?
Yeah, I've always had a hard time with him. Like, what game is he gonna, or is he gonna have a couple of groups of games where group them together? But he's always been tough to roster in fantasy because of that.
Yeah.
One question for you, Bernsey. Are you at all nervous that Diggs shows up only against the Bills? Josh Allen. I know you mentioned last week nothing to do with it, but
narrative.
Yeah, there is revenge narrative, and there's one with Minnesota, right? That's kind of why I'm going back and forth with him.
I agree with you 100%.
He's a head case. You're always going to have those struggles.
I'm not using him in my cash. I think for the cash lineup, you just...
Oh, he's GPP only.
You go to Waddle. Even Tet, I'm okay with. Waddle, though, is the better cash play. He stands out. The price to prop is massively better.
Olave, to me, is the best cash play.
Yeah.
He's probably very good for cash too. As much as he's a bit of a tourney stinker. If you're going to get 12 targets, okay, probably going to get 12, 14 points. Yeah.
Gonzalez is questionable too, so that might help.
Yeah, and I worry in high dollar single entry with Diggs, just because of the fact that he's a head case. And I'd just rather go Drake May with Hunter Henry if that becomes your single entry quarterback. Hunter Henry's just more, with it mentally from a day-to-day perspective,
Give me a second wide receiver in this category.
In this category, I mentioned him earlier. DK Metcalf. I think he can be a one-off this week. When facing zone coverages, he actually helps his quarterback. The quarterback actually has a QBR of a 127.1, and they're going up against a very heavy zone defensive coverages this week. This is what I wrote up in my cheat sheet notes. So he's facing a heavy zone. It's mainly a cover 2, cover 3 package that they're going to see with Cleveland. In Cleveland, actually, Newsome is out the door, and they brought in a new corner from Jacksonville via a trade earlier this week. So we'll see how that all shakes out for them. But yeah, they're going to run a heavy cover 2, cover 3 package. Some man. He doesn't do well with man, not as well as he does with cover 2. Cover 2, he's incredibly efficient. He has a 6.59 yards per route ran in cover 2, and his actual fantasy points per route in cover 2 are incredible. He's got a 1.2 or 1.19 fantasy points per route ran in cover 2, and then against cover 3, he can be even better there. He's got a 4 yard per route ran. And then his fantasy production is 0.67. I mean, these are great numbers from a guy that, it's just like, well, can he do it again and again and again? And, the thing about DK Metcalf is Aaron Rodgers is going to throw him the football. And because there's nobody else. And so DK could be a good one-off this week at 5,500. It's
super low owned.
It's pretty affordable.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's 10%, 11%. I thought he'd be lower owned than that, considering just like the matchup is so gross and the game total is putrid. And there's so many reasons why it's kind of not like looks on paper not that good, but there it is, still getting owned. Josiah, how about you? Give me a couple of names here.
Yeah, I'll start off with the weird one. Matthew Golden, rookie off a bye.
That is a weird one.
Soft. Okay. Things have been not as great for Golden as guys like Ibuka, but I think this should be a scenario. They've been trying to get the ball to him throughout this season, but hopefully they can finally figure it out this year or this week and get things together. Number 2 for me would be Ladd McConkey. Another guy who's had a rough season. He had a touchdown last week. One got called back. Could have had two on special teams. This receiving room is a bit of a mess right now. Their O-line for the Chargers is destroyed. So they're not getting a lot of time. That's part of the reason why I think Ladd should be able to get the ball and do well against a team that I've already mentioned struggles with tackling. So that's the angle I'm targeting here, Golden and McConkey.
Yeah, Golden is classic tournament tactics play. GPP only, upside there. No Christian Watson, who is getting closer to coming back, by the way, but not this week. So we'll have to wait a little bit. And we'll see if Matthew Golden is, I don't try Christian Watson. Not worried about him.
Josiah, you're not afraid of Dobbs outdoing him in this one?
Oh, no, I'm definitely concerned about that. That's the way things typically go, is it's Dobbs and Kraft. And so I'll definitely have lines that are built that way, but Golden's the guy I'm trying to get leverage on.
Yeah, that's a GPP only spot. He's completely unowned. You're getting him at a sub 5% ownership. That's fine. I got a sub 1% owned guy coming up in a second. No one take him. BobbyWow, you're up.
All right, I've got some cheapies too that I'll hold on to.
Burns,
I'll hold on to my cheapies, but I think the two guys in that range for me, Keenan Allen, that guy, we saw the same exact thing last season. He put up massive scores week after week, got tons of volume, and never was priced above the mid 5,000s. To me, he's a phenomenal play week in, week out. He's going to get targets. Great matchup. I love me some Keenan. And then maybe the lower owned guy in this range that I like a lot is Michael Pittman. He is a guy that's been unbelievably consistent this season. 6, 7, 8 targets game. He had 10 targets 2 weeks ago, and he scored touchdowns 3 straight weeks. 4 out of the 5 games this season, he has a touchdown. Guy's too cheap for that production. Danny Dimes clearly has a connection with him, and it's been incredibly consistent. So give me some MPJ this week.
You want to hear a fun little factoid that I discovered this week that was surprising? I feel like it's not even true, but yet it was true. That Pittman and Josh Downs have the same target share. It's just been all Pittman this year, but technically they're getting an equal number of targets, but it's not been, Puka and Devontae also have an equal target share this year, but clearly the results have been very different. But it's the same with Puka and Downs, because I was like, why are they throwing it Downs? And oh shit, they are. He's just not doing anything with them, and Pittman is, and it's just how they're running their scheme this year. But I found that interesting.
Are you trying to say it's a Downs week?
No, because he's been getting the targets. Yeah, but no. You know what I mean? I still prefer Pittman. I'm going to give you a couple names here. At the top end of the list, at the zone, Quentin Johnston. That is a guy that needs to be on the radar every single week, because when he does it big. So Quentin, Ladd, cool beans, Keenan Allen, great. And by the way, none of these guys are necessarily trustworthy in cash, because there's 3 and they're all, you just can't feed 3. Only 2 can ever come through, and it's usually one that really comes through well. I think Quentin Johnston has the most big play upside out of that trio.
To your point, there's a 1K difference between him and Keenan Allen on FanDuel. So FanDuel clearly has priced them up, and they're typically sharper with the pricing.
That's right. FanDuel knows. When you see FanDuel jacking a guy up to Studley zone and the rest of them in the mid pack, FanDuel is more correct about adjusting their price points than DraftKings is by a lot. And it's been that way, I would say, for at least 5 seasons now. The DraftKings used to be sharper, but that flipped. I think, did the FanDuel buy numbers fire? Something changed about FanDuel that they got better at this. And so well done, right? But the other guy, sub 1%, there's no way it's going to last, but sub 1% owned Kendrick Bourne with Mac Jones. Are you kidding me? What?
Jennings, we got to wait. Well, Pearsall, this doesn't factor in Pearsall out. And
already
then
out. Jennings, a perennial calf injury, ribs hurt. Even if he's in there, he's limping around, not doing anything, and it's Kendrick Bourne gliding like a gazelle.
He's going to be chalk. I'm telling you.
He's sub 1%. I'm trying to get
because Pearsall's still questionable on here, and Juwan Jennings is going to be rolled out too, probably. So we'll see.
chalk or not, I'm loading up on Bourne.
You love him.
I don't
You love
even
him
see-
either way.
Yeah, I don't see a version of this slate playing out where Bourne isn't having a pretty good game at 5K. Listen, I get it. Olave's here. He's got a high projection too. I'm cool with him. But Kendrick Bourne can break a slate at low ownership. This guy, I said it last week. What did I say? I said this guy has had big games in his career. This is not some rando that has never had a 20-plus point fantasy game. If you look back on Bourne's whole career, he's had a lot of those kind of games. People never knew about him. It was like Jacoby Myers when he was hitting on the Patriots. The same thing happened, and then he leaves the team, and everyone's like, oh, who's that guy? He was on the Patriots for years, and he was actually productive, but for some reason, we never embraced him. Kendrick Bourne at 5K, I'm about it. So that would be the guy that I feel very comfortable clicking on that. But yes, I think you guys might be right. I don't know that this sub 1%, but man, if it's anything 5% or less, I cannot be more excited. I just hope it stays low. I really do. I hope the ownership gets sucked into Olave. By the way, I like Olave too. I think he's fine. Like the matchup is great and whatever with the Patriots. But I mean, Bourne is part of that game that I'm trying to really get a piece of. So that's the other thing. I'm trying to get a piece of that game. I want to get it from whatever I am. Tongas. We'll get the Tongas in a minute.
CMC
sizzles.
When is Olave going to get the Jacoby Myers treatment from everybody?
I mean, once
he's priced up to Jacoby Myers price.
Jacoby Myers, man, talk about a guy. He's like the opposite of the cheat code. He's like the cheat code for not ever winning anything. He's like
Olave's cash at best. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not eating that chalk in tournaments. But he's.
Can you play Olave in tournaments, guys? Let's address that.
He was in a great spot. He was in a great spot last week, and he got 11.9 points or 12.9 points.
But everything else happened that you wanted last week. 11 targets. This is what I'm saying. This guy somehow figured out how to get. He's got fewer fantasy points than he has targets. How's he doing?
That's actually insane.
How does this math work? I don't even know. Here he got 14 targets this week, only got 15 points. Like what? What are these 3-yard receptions? Well, what is the rattlesnake doing in there? What's his air yardage? -5? What is going on here?
Sweet Lord.
It's weird. 54 yards. How do you catch 10 balls only for 57 yards? Is he being tackled before he catches the ball? What is going on there? I haven't watched. I mean, it's crazy. It's got to break, though. This kind of thing cannot keep up. These are statistical anomalies. I actually think you got to keep going to probably Olave because the targets are there. The usage is there. And if you give up on it, listen, historically, we know that players that get a lot of targets score a lot of fantasy points. Like there is a literal mathematical equation. Like this guy gets 0.52 points per target. Like it's just going to keep happening. But it's weird. I actually think you could play Olave this week. But I don't like it. Not at this ownership. Cash only. Yeah, 20%. No.
Yeah, that's the tough part. But everyone's shitting on it. And so that makes me feel like the ownership might be a little bit lower than we think. And so we'll see. We'll see. It's tough. I think every optimizer is forcing him in there. And so that's why his ownership is going to be high too. So I don't know.
Sauce will probably be on site.
Oh, not the sauce.
And just like the way he shut down CeeDee Lamb, and then he shut down George Pickens. God. Shut down George Pickens. Didn't even know George Pickens was on Dallas when you were watching that game. You're like, oh, this is the Flower Noise show. The same will happen with Courtland Sutton.
Ugh.
And listen, I'm not a Jets fan. They stink. Take that sign down. I'm sick of them. Done with it. Giving up. Done. Not an Eagles fan either after yesterday. Embarrassment of a game they put up. I think I'm going to the Bucs.
You're not buying into the Justin Fields. No playoff team ever started 0-5. This is a first time for everything.
Let me go back to my dynasty reference from earlier when I say that sell your Justin Fields shares while you can. He's scoring well, but this guy is not going to be a starter for much longer. He just does not look the part.
When you need him.
Yeah, does not look the part.
You just fully admitted to being a bandwagon fan, and you're like, no shame. Like, I'm just going to see whatever team's high. That's my team.
Josiah, when you're my age and you've been a Jets fan for this long, No one could ever accuse you of being a bandwagon fan of anything. Okay, I'm allowed to jump off. I will jump right back on if they're ever good. But like, come on, how much suffering do I need?
Oh, boo! Come on.
How much suffering should one person have? No, I don't. I'm only a fan of one thing, guys. That's why I got into it. I'm a fan of my money and what I put my money on that week. That's why I love you guys with your fandom, and Bobby, how you love your Chicago teams. I gave up on that. I just care about my money.
I honestly thought you were going to say quarterbacks' wives. I was really concerned there.
I do like the Wags.
I was very
I do like the Wags. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know suffering 512. Yes, I do.
Who did I see the other day? I was like, holy shit. I should have known she'd be a smart.
All right. Can I rattle off 4 quick names below this?
Let's get back to business. Give me some cheapies that we like.
All right, here we go. Rattle off names. No explanation here, but some guys I'm going to have in tournaments that'll be low owned and very low priced. Cooper Kupp is one guy for the Seahawks. We like this game environment. I think he's intriguing as a PPR guy here at 4,600. Travis Hunter. We talked about Trevor Lawrence. The coach talked about getting Travis Hunter more snaps after last week. I have a little bit of intrigue there because Brian Thomas is gone. He's missing. No one knows where he is.
Hold on. I got a response to the Travis Hunter one.
No.
Randy?
It's a no for me, dog. I don't think it was really good.
Holy audio, tinny.
That was not the best audio, Brady. Let's work on that one.
Lord have mercy. That made the audio talk me off that play, maybe.
No,
2 other guys, though. Sterling Shepard with Godwin ruled out. Shepard's really interesting at a just insanely cheap price tag. And then talked about at the beginning of the show, Flower Noy is somebody that showed up last week for Dak. We've got both CD and Turpin out again. I think he's a guy that you can click the button on. He's showing 9% ownership, which is relatively high. But look, I have no issue going back to him here in a game that I'm going to have plenty of Dak stacks. So he's a guy that makes it work alongside of Fergie.
Flower Noy, 9 targets, 6 receptions last week, 114 yards, and they left his price at 3,600. Excuse me? Wait, hold on. Let me try that again. Hold on. They left his price at 3,600?
How dare you?
Thank you.
I think they thought Turpin was coming back.
Yeah. No, I don't know what they thought, but you know what I thought? I thought they threw to Tolbert last week a little bit, but they threw him not one target. So, all right. Let's stick on this theme, guys, of pay down option wide receivers. BobbyWow, did you give us all 4?
I'm not going to give you any more. That's too many. I gave you enough. Go to someone else.
Because I'm like out of them now that you literally mentioned all the ones that were available. But that's okay. I want to hear them from BobbyWow. That makes it more real. Josiah, how about you? Got a pay down option at wide receiver that we can use to afford all the pukas?
No, I mean, Bobby touched on all of the smart plays. If you want to get really weird and gross, you can look at guys like Isaiah Bond, who the Browns should be trying to get more involved since they have no other talent on that team outside of Judkins. And then maybe one more strange one would be... No, I'm just going to stop there. I think Bond's probably weird enough. Oh, no, Wicks. D'Artagnan Wicks. I really like this Packers game. Like everyone says, I have no freaking clue what receiver's really going to be or who's really going to be the guy, but I think all of them have a good chance, and so I'm going to be mixing and matching a lot of these guys in my lineups, just like I'm going to do with the Charger receivers.
I like it. Burns. Who's the Shark Lab loving as a pay down option NFL Week 6?
Exactly who everybody has already said, to a T. Yeah, I can't go without any of those guys. I think Sterling Shepard's an excellent call, Bobby. I've been building with him since the start of the week, even before they ruled out Godwin. I just thought the price tag on him and his production thus far this year has been great since Mike Evans has been out. So I really like that call, and I like the Flournoy call too. I think that's a great call. His production last year was not a coincidence. I think he's going to continue to be used in this offense alongside Pickens, and so I really like both of those calls. The only guy that I would probably say that we haven't really touched on, but I'm not really getting his prop projection, is Josh Downs. It's really high. And for this price range of 4,300, I mean, it's 2+X, it's about, what is it? 2.5X. It's
2.9,
interesting.
Yeah. 2.15. Not bad.
It's interesting that he's that high projected. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I told you.
Well, he was popping earlier today too.
Do I have the matchups tool? I don't have it open, but if you check the matchups tool, you'll see Downs has been getting a lot of targets. Like he's been targeted relatively similarly to what Pittman has gotten. It just hasn't turned into production just yet, but it's working. I'll give you a couple mine here in this zone. I'm going to go right back to Rashid Shaheed is like an every week guy that you should always kind of have some exposure to. He broke the slate somewhat last week. And Burns, was it you who talked him up on the show? Yeah, it was a Burns call as well. I mean, Burns was spitting fire last week. That is like the Burns show. We got to clip that one for posterity. That was awesome. 2 write-ins of 100K winners thanking Burns for some of those calls that you don't see. We don't see that every week. And it's also a testament to you guys who are watching this. We appreciate you guys coming back every single week to hang out with us. This truly is an audience participation show. We're reading your comments for those of you who watch this live with us. So we appreciate you guys, and keep those comments coming. Keep your thoughts coming, because you're sparking ideas in the noodles for all of us here as you're adding your comments. Except for you, Dick's Insider. None of those comments are sparking anything other than disgust and utter.
He changed his avatar.
Those are my favorites.
All right, but so Rashid Shaheed, yeah, totally right. I think Cherry Judy maybe a little bit. At some point he's got to get it done, right?
No, he doesn't.
He used to be good last year. What the hell happened? No?
Dylan Gabriel happened. For now.
Freaking Dylan Gabriel's got to throw it to someone. Downs is right there. But when I scroll down here, the one that stands out these are names that are repeating. The one that stands out to me the most is got to be Sterling Shepard in that Bucks game. Like, they throw to this guy. They don't have anybody else. Igbuka, you can't just throw to Igbuka, right? They're even throwing to Kate Otten. They rolled out Kate Otten now. Like, all right, get out there and catch a pass. Like, they don't know who to throw to. It's got to be Sterling Shepard a little bit. I don't think there's like huge, crazy, exciting upside, but maybe there is. Maybe he gets a touchdown in there. I think he's more of a 5 for 50, maybe kind of guy. But if he could sneak a little yak in there somewhere or a touchdown in there for 3,600, great. Mm-hmm. And the Flournoy is just like kind of almost like it's almost must play.
Yep. Tez Johnson too. Did you mention him, Bobby?
Devontae Johnson?
He's showing up. Tez. Yeah, he's showing up a little bit for me too. I'm not against it.
The chat loves him.
Wait. Tez Johnson. Wait, there's a different guy named Devontae whose not last name is Johnson, and that's a whole different person. All right, hold up here, because Tez Johnson. See, that's a name I am not familiar with. How is
I've
that
never
possible?
seen the chat mention a name more than Tez Johnson.
Who? Wait a minute.
Last week, like you said, they threw to everybody last week, and Godwin's out, so you would assume he's going to see a few more targets this week.
Dude, you guys just stumped the geek. Like, what?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
I didn't even know who the fuck that was. I thought you were talking about Devontae on the Ravens. I'm like, we're playing Walker. Ravens players now? What is this? Devontae, what? Tez Johnson out of nowhere. Oh, fuck is that guy? All right. You got me. I had no idea what anybody was even saying there with Tez Johnson. Wow. Okay. Why do we like Tez Johnson?
Cheap.
Got some targets.
These targets should be a positive game environment for the Bucks.
Okay. Just play Shepard.
That too. He has more upside.
I needed the excuse to get Conor McGregor at least once during the show.
Hey, when the chat speaks, though.
Yeah, they're usually right. So you don't want to ignore it.
I'm writing it down.
Demarcus Robinson, maybe?
Well, if Jennings is out, probably.
If Juwan is out. He got a bunch of targets, too.
What are you going to play Bourne and DeMarcus Robinson?
No.
What's going on here? Come on now.
I didn't say I'm going to play Bourne in every single lineup that I'm making this way. I mean, Bobby, wow, I'm not that absolute. We're not working in absolutes here. He did get 7 targets last week. That's real.
You were close to absolutes with the way you talked about him.
I do love Bourne. I might lock button it.
Stop.
might just-
Wait. So what are you gonna do? You told me you're not gonna have him on every lineup. Now you might lock him.
Now you're convincing me. You're making me want to do it.
For the record, we both loved Bourne last week, but my God, how? Okay,
You're making me want to do
Just
it.
please don't lock him. Just please.
I like to go back to what worked last week and just do it again. It's a big how I play DFS. All right. Just got to do
Travis
it again.
Hunter will outscore Kendrick Bourne this week. I just want you to know that.
Josiah knows.
I know what.
It worked last week. Let's just do it again.
No, I'm the opposite. If something worked last week, I want to do the opposite this week. Too much. Too much.
Especially when their name is Kendrick Bourne.
Are you saying Bourne is forlorn?
Turd hat bet. Travis Hunter outscores Bourne. Can we turd hat bet
I like
that?
that? That's good.
That's from Trading Places. Oh, I can't remember. I'll get you the forlorn thing too. That's spinning around in here from something, and I can't remember what. All right.
I guess he doesn't.
Tight end position.
Confident.
What's that?
Nothing.
Hold on a second. I'm giving one of these to you.
How dare you?
I don't even know what you said, but
How dare you?
whatever it was. Okay. Tight end position, NFL week 6. I've got it sorted by ownership here.
Oh, Jesus.
Trey McBride up top. Tyler Warren. Jake Ferguson. Tucker Kraft. Tongas. You guys were making fun of me for Tongas all week. And look who's up there in the chalk zone, 5th highest owned.
You were right. You were right.
Tongas. Michael Mayer with Brock Bowers already ruled out. Are we really doing this? We're going to Michael Mayer?
Yeah, we are. Otten.
You want to know ownership? You can do Otten.
Second highest targets for the Bucks last week.
Hunter Long, my friends. Hunter
Yeah?
Long.
Hunter Long?
Hunter
On
Long.
the Jaguars? You know
Hunter
Trevor
Long.
Lawrence likes the tight end.
Definitely a punt and cash for sure at 2,500, bare minimum.
Puntable. You also have Juwan Johnson now at a reduced price, no Q tag. He's been a target machine in that rattlesnake-led offense. I don't mind a tight end who gets 10 targets, 7 receptions, 9 fantasy points. That's fine. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Juwan Johnson. But top of the list here, we got Trey McBride, Tyler Warren, Jake Ferguson, the usual suspects, and Tucker Kraft. That foursome has been the stud tight end foursome of the season. Burns, do any of these guys have any metrics that are standing out to the Shark Lab?
All of them. No, but I think man, Warren is owned every week, high ownership. Last week he in comparison to the guys that were around him, right? Ferguson was $100 more than him last week, and he blew up, and Warren didn't, and it really helped. It really hurt Warren's fantasy production last week. It hurt those lineups with him. I'm not going to be on McBride. I think he's really high in salary for his fantasy production this year. The guys that I like Tucker Kraft in a good game environment for him. I think this is going to be a good one for him. I do like Warren, but I'm almost pumping the brakes on him a little bit. I don't know it. But I like Hunter Henry a good bit this week. But yeah, like Jake Tongues. I mean, that he's Tungus, whatever, you're going to pronounce it. Yeah, he's looking good. I'm not going to be on Barner. I don't think I'll be on Barner this week, but there's some good options. I mean, Juwan Johnson, like you said, he's looking good in the Jesus.
It's Fergalicious.
Yeah,
There's only one.
But yeah, Ferguson's in a good spot, but he's getting really pricey. But his fantasy production is warranting it. But another guy that I think is not going to be owned at all is Harold Fannin this week. So on the road in Pittsburgh, I just Dylan Gabriel is going to be running for his life against Pittsburgh, and I just think he's got to dump it off, and it's going to either go to Njoku or it's going to go to Fannin. But I think Fannin is the one that's actually been getting the targets more, the target share with in this offense more.
I like it. Josiah, how about you?
Yeah. First, I'll do a mini rant. Everyone was giving me a hard time for liking Darren Waller last week. They're like, it was just one big game. He won't come back. He crushed last week. He only saw 30. He was only filled for roughly like 30 plays. So that limited some of that upside. This week, he should see a few more plays on the field. Don't love him as much this week, but also have some exposure. For me, it's going to be Cade Otton. Love this game environment. I'm going to attack it. Low ownership and cheap. And then I'm not scared to play Michael Mayer at all. If he was chalky, I would be. But at low ownership, 5%, he has a ton of talent. Kevin, what is this?
Oh, no.
It's Fergie.
Yep.
Brady, you got to take away that. You got to take away those controls.
Fergie.
Brady left, and now he's free to do
Oh,
it.
sweet Lord.
Oh, that was good. But
I was
yeah,
never a
sounds
Fergie
good.
fan.
What?
Mm-mm.
Burns.
I don't even know where I was paying attention to the Fergie pictures. Do we like any of these tight ends? I wasn't even.
Oh, man.
Burns, how about you?
You already got me.
Oh, wait.
You got lost in the sauce.
I was just looking through the images. BobbyWow. Tight ends for NFL Week 6. Where are we going?
I think this is a very puntable tight end slate. Mayer is a legit pass catching tight end. That guy's got some chops. As a pass catcher, I think he's really interesting. We talked about Hunter Long as well. Hunter Long, another guy that's going to see a ton of involvement. He is also a legitimate pass catcher. That's what he did in college. So I like some Hunter Long in a offense that funnels passes to the tight end. If Brenton Strange can be fantasy relevant, anybody can be fantasy relevant on the Jags. So I like Hunter Long. To me, McBride, he's a cash only play until further notice. It's kind of how he's always been for me, and I get crap for it. But he's had maybe 1 or 2 weeks in his career that have been tournament winning. If I'm paying up, it's probably going to be for Jake Ferguson here. He's got the highest upside of any tight end on this slate, and he's heavily involved. Without CeeDee Lamb, he's almost been a lock button play. So I love Ferguson. And really quick, I just want to dispel of this notion that for some reason the Panthers are a good defense. Okay.
Whoa. Never said good, just not bad.
They've had 1 week. They've played all bad teams. They've had 1 good week against, Michael Penix, who absolutely has stunk.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been the Jaguars. They give 26 points. The Cardinals, 27. The Patriots, 42. The Dolphins, even without any of their players, 24 points. This Panthers team stinks.
And through all 5 of those games, only Waddle has been a GPP winner.
Oh, please. Panthers are not. I'm not worried about the Panthers. Give me Jake Ferguson. Give me Pickens.
Okay, you're not wrong.
So that's where I'm going.
I'll give you that. I can't fight it this week, but in general, not that bad.
I think you could pay down a tight end. You're spot on, by the way, Bobby. Wow. Everybody who goes up against the Panthers gets their ass. Except for that one rookie quarterback, brain fart game. Every other team has absolutely feasted on them. So you got to keep playing guys against that defense.
You have to think about the perspective. You have to think about the perspective. Last year, the Panthers were the worst defense, but now there's the Ravens and Bengals. So we're a little bit better. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we're good.
As a Bears fan, I feel that perspective in my soul. Oh, my Lord.
I had a crazy thought. Bobby, wow, can we stack Ferguson, Fergie, and Tungus?
I think you could definitely do double tight end this week. Tungus, you've said his name way too many times. Tungus is overrated, But I think with the puntable option with Hunter Long and Michael Mayer, those punt options, double tight end is firmly in play this week, especially with guys like Ferguson and even Hunter Henry. He's the one guy I didn't mention that I really like. Drake Mays look good. The Saints are Panthers level bad, even worse maybe. So yes, I like double tight end.
It's that division, Bobby.
I was just saying I wanted to say Fergie and Tongues in the same sentence.
Oh, Scott, man.
To imply
did it to him?
Boner alert.
We're off the rails.
outside of the guy. All right, get back to serious, guys. We're talking DFS here. Outside of that group, I'm going to come back to, guys, we got to play a little bit of Juwan Johnson this week. He's relevant. He's a target machine, and we need the pay down options. You're going to play Puka. You're going to play Stafford. All of these awesome studly names. You can't just have studs everywhere. So we need some of these cheapies. Juwan Johnson popping. Michael Mayer, I don't know if I can get. I need to like convince my own brain that that's a real thing. I need to do more research about what's happened in other Brock Bowers games because I haven't seen Michael Mayer. So Brock Bowers has been playing, but just limping around uselessly. So it's not like we got the Michael Mayer game yet. So now I want to do.
He's a puntable option. That's all.
Yeah, it's a punt, but like, do they throw to Mayer when? I feel like they probably do throw to Mayer when Bowers isn't in there, but I need to really see before I feel comfortable with it. Hunter Long's interesting. I think he's had a good game or two in his career.
He actually, like, they drafted him because he can catch passes.
Yeah.
So he's a good pass catcher.
What about Taysom Hill?
Oh, the return. Well, he returned last week, but
that's what makes me not love Juwan Johnson.
Exactly.
Juwan Johnson, his targets are going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And now there's another gross mouth to feed here. It's rough for that team.
I don't know if Taysom Hill's being used as a tight end. He's kind of being used like in his old role of being kind of like the trickster out there.
Certainly doesn't help Juwan though that he's back. That's for sure.
No, it's not better.
End zone opportunities that he's taken up.
Yeah, it's not better. Yeah, and you mentioned Otten. I don't think you need to go too far past that this week. None of these guys are really, But Darren Waller is
500 is crazy.
Yeah, Darren Waller has to be in your conversation. I don't like the price on Waller, but if you're playing Tua or anything around that game, or even just not, I mean, they're clearly throwing to Waller in the red zone and in the end zone, and he's scoring touchdowns. Like, I mean, he's getting more than one. So that guy's got to be in the conversation as well. But the clear class of the field to me, it's Ferguson, it's Tucker, and then McBride, and then Warren, like, and Tongas in that order. And I'm not saying Tongas just because it's fun to say his name. The dude got like 9 targets last week for 3,200, and Mac Jones loves him.
Yep.
And the announcers during the game love saying his name too. Trust me, because everybody wants to pronounce it the correct Hawaiian way. Tongas. I assume he's Hawaiian just because of the way the name sounds. I have no idea what his background is. No clue. It sounds Hawaiian to me. Or like Polynesian. You know what I mean? Tongas. Sounds Polynesian.
I thought it sounded Hawaiian.
It sounds like Polynesian. Hawaiian and Polynesian, same thing. No? Why are you guys all looking at me like I'm crazy? Well, am I wrong about something here? Hawaiians are like Polynesian. That's what they are. He's Maori. Even more badass. Those are like the ones that come from
it's the same as Hawaiian and Polynesian.
New Zealand. They're all like, it's far away. Yeah, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm not saying stupid shit. I'm like, I know. Yeah.
Oh, it's just if I had $1 for every time you said Tungus on this show.
Well, Tongas he's got a very good situation this week.
Every opportunity.
Tongas and Fergie. Okay, so let's talk about the defenses. Burns, you're the defensive specialist. Why is it the Colts this week? Why should we go back to them? It's always the Colts.
Yeah, they're good. They're just good defense. They've been a great defense this year.
Yeah.
Just a real life good defense in the NFL. Yeah. Go right back to them again. But up top, I mean, it's going to start with the Packers. They're a beast defense at home. They're just a beast defense, and you got Joe Flacco. The last time they played the Packers, I don't know what the hell happened, but when he was with Cleveland, but you know, they were on the road. This is going to be a different one for them going in there. So fire up the Packers if you can spend all the way up there. Other good defenses that are on the slate. We'll see it on that Jaguars game if it flips. If it flips, then I'll be off the Jaguars. But right now I'm on them as a home favorite. Also on the Steelers in this one. They got Dylan Gabriel coming into town. Steelers are really good defense at home. The Colts are also a viable defense again this week. In addition, the Raiders are Cam Ward. You know, we've been picking on this guy all year. I don't see why you wouldn't do it again. The only thing that bothers me with the Raiders are they're incredibly good. They're going to be high owned. And before I get this, I know the New Orleans Saints were the highest owned defense on the entire slate, and they crushed. But that doesn't happen every single time.
The pay down option too, like,
and I get it, and it doesn't happen every time. There are outliers, statistical outliers, and they're real thing. Just go take a look in the stats book; you'll figure it out from there. But they're just an okay defense. Like New Orleans, if I really want to get into it, New Orleans is just an okay defense this year. The better play was the Colts last week. But the Raiders at home with the quarterback, you know, it's good. It's a decent play. But the Jaguars, if that game flips, I'll be off the Jaguars defense. They're a very good defense in the NFL right now. It's just I don't play home underdog defenses, so all the underdogs are X'd out of my player pool.
Only favorites for Burns.
Indeed.
Josiah, got a standout defense that's popping for you this week?
No, I think we touched on a lot of the main ones, but just a little narrative-driven defense here is the Cowboys. Bryce Young likes to have a couple of picks and fumbles early on in games, and what's the worst-case scenario that could happen this week? Low-scoring Dallas Panthers game because the Dallas defense gets a couple of or one touchdown, and the rest of the game they just run it with Williams. So that's one that's really low owned that I'm looking at. And then there's not really any others that we haven't touched on.
I want to touch on the fact that the chat is talking up Miami. Guys, don't play Miami defense. They stink. Like straight up, they just don't tackle anybody. They actually stink. Like they're so bad. It doesn't matter that the Chargers all line is all banged up. Like Herbert's going to shred those guys. Like you don't want to mess with that. I wouldn't mess with that. Burns, Miami defense? It's a no for me, dog.
No, they're a home underdog defense.
Yeah.
It's not going to go. It's not, that line's not flipping anytime soon. It's a point or a point and a half difference. We're looking at, upwards of 7 points. So no, It's not going to flip anytime soon.
Not good. I think there is a pay down defense that I kind of like, but BobbyWow, go. Do you have one that stands out for you that we haven't talked about?
I think Burns mentioned all of them. I mean, I can't remember if you mentioned this team. The only other one I would say is maybe the Titans. Geno Smith has been turning the ball over like it's going out of style.
That's wild.
But I mean, that is the wild one. Burns mentioned everyone.
It's like
they're great. They're a great defense for cash. I mean, the 2,400, allows you to possibly get Puka and CMC in the same lineup. Maybe. I don't know if it's possible, but depends on your quarterback.
For my pay down, and that's where I want to go with it. I think Burns, you nailed all of listen, play the Steelers. It's a really good play. Play the Packers. It's awesome. Raiders fine. Rams playable. Colts always, right? And Colts might get the bonus. I don't know if this is a bonus of a banged up Kyler Murray getting knocked out of a game, and then the backup, but it's Brisket, who's pretty good backup. I don't think that does that much. But they might get some backup quarterback time if so. But I think the Browns are a great play on the road. I get they're underdogs, but like Aaron Rodgers stinks, guys. Come on.
Well, so do the Browns on the road. Like,
Yeah.
they are so bad, but
they're not as good on the road. No, you're right. But like Aaron Rodgers and the Browns do get up for those Steelers games, though. They play the Steelers
that's
nasty.
true.
Mhm.
That's true.
And Aaron Rodgers, he can't move in the pocket. They're going to sack him.
You might be onto something here.
They're the same as the Titans for me. I think both are puntable tournament options.
Like acceptable pay down. Because listen, it's great to pay up, but I always find myself needing that extra 1,000 for something. And you know, I want to play poker. I want to play CMC. You can't play those guys and have an expensive defense. So
Worth the risk with the upside that they have, because they have some talent on that defense.
Yeah.
I agree.
and I'll also say this, one of the weirdest high ownerships ever. I think sometimes the cheapest defense just shows a high number, but like unfriend you. Literally, I'll have 0 Bengals. What? I don't even believe these numbers. What happens a lot of times, the way these numbers are generated is just like running lineups and using the projections. And what happens is the cheapest defense just gets jammed in everything. So like, oh yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen.
They're trying to get both CMC or JT with Nakua in the lineup is really what's going on there.
Yeah, just play the cheapest one. I don't care, whatever. But I would try not to play that cheapest one, but at least get up to somebody that has at least some slight possibility of not being terrible. Saints, not really. Titans, okay. 49ers, no. Browns, yes. No. Maybe Seahawks at 2,700 on the road, too, by the way. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I've seen
They're
people all
healthy.
play,
Yeah.
and it's not that good.
And they've got, like Josiah said, they've got some really good young weapons in that secondary, really intriguing defense when they're healthy.
Yeah. And yeah, guys. All right. Let's wrap it up there. I'm going to give a couple of notes of what's going on here. So everybody knows the Players Club is on Saturdays at noon. Players Club is where we build actual lineups for single entry. I know some of you guys ask cash plays and stuff like that. We go over all of that on the Players Club. The tournament tax is absolutely designed to talk about big tournament. And Players Club is really building lineups for single entry multipliers, which are my bread and butter, your 40x, your 10x, that kind of thing, how you stay profitable in DFS. So we do that on Saturdays at noon. DFS Army subscribers, of course, you got to access that via our Discord so that, we keep that only for our members or the channel members here now as well. So that's Saturdays at noon. We have a 2-game slate coming up on Monday. It's going to be glorious. Me and Wow together again, Monday, breaking it down.
You forgot Sunday.
Bears.
The Bears are in it. That's exactly why we need BobbyWow getting us on that 2-game. We got a bunch of these 2-game play. I call those a prime time slate. 2-gamers. They have a unique kind of flavor to them. I love them. The primetime slates, we're getting a bunch of them this year. You need the domination station to attack those mass multi-entry style. You want to have access to the domination station. Brady told me in the middle of the show, Brady, our producer, said that he added 10 more spots to the flash sale. I did not authorize it, but he did it. So anybody who missed it, it's NFL Flash is the code, FLASH, NFL Flash. That's 25% off any DFS Army subscription. It locks in forever. So if you've been thinking about checking out DFS Army, we did it because we had the 200K winners right in from the show. And we were like, these guys need to be part of our team. So we want those of you watching to actually be part of the DFS Army team, get in our Discord, get access to these tools. It's not just the domination station. We have research stations for we bring the numbers. I don't even show it on screen that much, but we have all of the data, all the numbers, everything you need to get going. Our prop projection cannot be matched anywhere in the industry. It's been absolutely decimating all the other sites. So we'd love for you guys to jump on board here with us. Code NFL Flash gets you 25% off. And of course, if you saw earlier, we talked about Sharp app and the free week. If you go to Sharp app, you get that plus EV advantage better tools highlighted by the arbitrage tool. And you get a week trial on that one, promo code Geek. It will set you up with a free week of Sharp. Just check it out. You can cancel. You don't have to keep it. But when you print cash all week long, you're going to kind of be like, man, I kind of like doing this. And this is probably worth $69 a month or whatever that subscription costs. So trust me, you're going to like it. Go check it out, sharp.app. I want to thank you, Burns, Josiah, and BobbyWow for kicking ass today and all season long. We'll be back here next week, same time, same station, all that good stuff to break it down again. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, notify, all that good stuff. Helmets up, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.